Ballot initiatives to overturn Arkansas's abortion ban and expand access to medical marijuana have hit a couple of roadblocks and will not be a part of this year's election. The Department of Education, established in 1979, helps monitor schools across the country and enforce the rules and regulations that keep children safe. Both Harris and Trump have unique plans to boost the American economy, focusing on taxes to be the cornerstone of those plans. Student workers who've graduated from the University of Arkansas working at Razorback Sports Network have gone on to work all over the country for the NFL, the NBA, and even ESPN. As these debates continue in the courts and at the state level, they could come back for a different election. For UATV, I'm Brenna Ralston. While Harris and Trump may be taking different paths, they are both planning to have an economy that will help Americans thrive. Here's to 10 more years of excellence in sports broadcast here on the University of Arkansas campus. Here, live in front of Bud Walton Arena, I'm Brenna Ralston for UATV.
Onto your belly, head goes right to left. Press back. I teach beginning ballet, a continuation of beginning ballet in a second semester, beginning modern and intermediate modern, as well as dance appreciation. We also have musical theater, jazz, and tap.
Today, dance thrives at the University of Arkansas, with courses open to students of all skill levels. Whether it's classical ballet or contemporary dance, students can find classes that suit their interests and challenge them creatively.
It's been super fun. I think it's really awesome that we have dance classes here. There's not a large selection to choose from, but the ones that we do have are they have really good curriculum, and I feel like I'm learning a lot.
While there are dance classes offered here at the university, it's not quite what it used to be.
In the past, the University of Arkansas has had a degree program in dance. I believe it has not been offered since the late 1980s, though. And since then, dance has been a part of the theater program or the physical education programs.
Students and professors alike are hoping to one day bring back the dance major and minor, and the faculty have a plan to do it.
At this stage, we are building in the number of classes that we're offering, and would love to work back towards being able to offer a dance minor and eventually a dance major.
As the program continues to grow, the University of Arkansas Dance Department remains committed to honoring its past while looking forward to the future. Students are taking the stage, both in studio and beyond.
I'm here at Doomsday Coffee, where Rosie Morales and her husband have turned their love for coffee into a full-fledged business. What makes this shop unique is the fact that it all started in their kitchen with just a handful of coffee beans. It all began when Rosie's husband decided to try roasting coffee beans at home. What started as a hobby quickly turned into a passion project as they explored the nuances of flavor and roasting techniques. Long before they realized they had something special, they decided to turn their love for coffee into a business and chose a name that reflected their journey, Doomsday, symbolizing the effects of PTSD that veterans go through after service.
He used to order a bunch of green beans and just roast them at the house from different countries. And every morning we would sip on coffee from a different country. And it was just one of those things that we enjoyed doing together. And one day, a place became available at the right spot, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
Now, their coffee is a local favorite, drawing in customers who appreciate not only the taste, but the care that goes into every batch. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just looking for that morning cup of joe, Doomsday is a place worth tasting. Reporting live for UATV, I'm Brenna Ralston.
The abortion initiative aimed to allow access to abortion up to 20 weeks, a move that advocates hoped would reverse the state's current near-total abortion ban. According to Karen Siebold, a political science professor at the University of Arkansas, this effort reflected ongoing culture wars, especially in southern states, post Roe v. Wade.
The signatures that are required in the state of Arkansas were submitted by the group that were pushing for that amendment, but according to the Secretary of State, The office did not receive the signatures or the appropriate paperwork to go with the signatures that show who gathered the signatures.
Unfortunately for the supporters, with the election just weeks away, time has run out to resolve the issues in court. The second failed initiative centers on expanding medical marijuana. While Arkansas already allows medical use, this amendment would have expanded qualifying conditions, allowed home cultivation, and changed packaging laws.
It's going to be on the ballot, and we'll vote on that. But whether or not those votes will be counted will be up to the Secretary of State.
For now, voters won't be able to officially weigh in on the issues.
A classic story came to the Walton Arts Center for a weekend of family-friendly fun. The show transported audiences to a place where they would never have to grow up. On the corner of Dixon and West, theater lovers and families took the second star on the right all the way to Neverland during the production of Peter Pan. The national tour took this timeless story and brought it to the 21st century. In past productions, Peter Pan has always been played by a woman, but this time, Peter was played by a 17-year-old high school student, Nolan Almadia. Audience member Callie Files tells her experience seeing the show.
It felt very magical. At the beginning, I didn't like how they modernized it. They put technology in it, and that kind of took away from some of it, but it was very light, and that was my only complaint.
The next show coming to the Walton Arts Center is the comedy Beetlejuice, the musical, on Wednesday, 22nd through the 27th. If you want to experience the whole being dead thing, look out for tickets.
If Trump's plans move forward, the implications could be far-reaching. Head of the Department of Education Reform, Harry Petranos, has some insight on the impact.
We won't have the level of information that we do today to know how we're faring within the country, within the states, how we fare compared to other countries, and then there'd be less information for making the sorts of decisions and policies you need to improve education going forward.
One of the most vulnerable areas could be the special education programs. These rely heavily on federal oversight to ensure compliance with laws like the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
Most likely those functions would move to other departments.
There's also concern about how this could affect aspiring teachers.
One impact might be less funding for education, and that would lead to people changing their views about what they want to do in the future, including not going into teaching.
The timing of these discussions raises additional questions.
Many countries are feeling the effects of the COVID-19 and the school closures, but having more information helps, and having that information at the national level. I think it's a national crisis, so therefore you do need a national response.
Vice President Kamala Harris has introduced a progressive tax plan focusing on wealthy Americans, with benefits aimed at middle and lower income families.
Talking about increasing taxes on the very wealthy, people or families making somewhere over $450,000 a year.
Additionally, she aims to ease the tax burden on workers in the service industry.
Eliminating taxes on tips for people who work in the Food and Beverage Administration.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump has taken a different approach. He's focused on extending his previous tax cuts, which he believes would maintain stability for middle and lower income Americans.
He'll extend the tax cuts that were implemented when he was first there. Probably is might propose some new ones.
But Trump's boldest proposal is aimed at foreign goods. His team has talked about massive increases in tariffs, with the goal of encouraging Americans to buy American-made products. Trump's team argues that these tariffs will boost domestic industries, although critics warn it may increase consumer prices. Although each candidate brings a distinct approach, they share the focus on tax cuts and preserving Social Security.